In this video I am going to show you how to build a primitive basket quiver with Stone Age materials and tools. I like to use river cane as my support ribs or spokes. Using a sharp stone flake, I score the perimeter and snap them off clean. Whether you use cane or hardwood ribs, you will want to season them just a little so you can heat bend them straight. This step is not required, but using straight ribs will make a nicer quiver. Collecting vines is pretty straightforward. I like to use wild grape or jasmine vines. The species is not overly important, but it is important to use your vines while they are fresh and still pliable. Using vines right after a rain will help them to bend since they will be relatively full of water. I also like to clean all the little sticks and leaves and such off of them to be as clean as possible. Here I have started the wrapping process already. I start by putting my ribbing in the ground in the diameter that I want to make. Make sure that you use an odd number of ribs so your windings alternate from over to under on each pass. I like 7 ribs or spokes, but you can use as few as 5 or as many as 9. When you start a new vine, tuck it into the void made between the windings and the rib. Notice at the bottom I've left the vine stick out long so I can tuck it in at a later time. The tucking in at the beginning and the ends of your vines will help everything stay secure while you wrap it in until it dries. While your vines are still flexible, you'll notice that they want to unwrap on you if they're not tucked in at the beginnings and ends. As you'll notice when I'm tucking this end down in to that void I was talking about, it's quite easy to accidentally snap the vine clean. Especially at little branch knots and stuff like that. Just keep working back until you find a good pliable place that you can get a good bend on it. This is a point that you want to make sure you do right, and you don't want it breaking off and coming loose later. Once you get several secured, make sure you just compress them down slightly just to keep everything nice and solid. Once you get near the top, you will want to heat and bend a few of the ribs over to make ribs to cover the bottom. It is now that you see that the top is actually the bottom of the quiver. Unfortunately, I lost the footage of this process, but continue to wrap around the bottom and finish it with several crisscrosses to secure the bottom of the basket. Pull the quiver from the ground, turn it over and continue wrapping up to the throat. Make sure you compress the windings occasionally, again to keep them tight and secure. A nice solid fitting wrap will just be nicer in the end. Once you reach the top, use soft flexible root vines to lash the top. Make several passes to ensure the windings are secure. The root vines seem to bend a little bit easier and put up with a little more abuse, and they tend to be a little bit thinner as well, so make sure you root around good, find good moist root vines. Just tucking it in at random intervals, making sure you're not on the same row every single time will help to bind everything well. This just keeps all the wrappings from coming loose and sliding off of the ribs. A clump of moss will help keep your arrows from rattling and also help to keep your points from poking out of the bottom. If your arm's too big to reach down into the throat, just grab a stick and pound it on home. Any kind of strapping will work. I chose a simple twisted length of deer rawhide. Tie it to the ribs at whatever location keeps the quiver balanced well. Too close to the bottom will make the quiver top heavy, too close to the throat will make it tail heavy. After a few hours of tedious work, you'll have yourself a nice basket quiver that should last a lifetime.